And joining us now to discuss is Executive Director of Sharaka and Middle East Affairs Analyst Dan Pfefferman. Dan, thank you so much for joining.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So I want to start with the Houthis. You know, after they launched ballistic missiles at Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu is today saying that Israel will deal with them just like it's dealt with the other terror proxies in the region. Only this time it will be with an international coalition by his side. So are the attacks against the Houthis until now being done in coordination with the U.S. and other allies?
Yeah, they are. And dealing with this threat of the Houthi rebels, the Houthi terrorist organization in Yemen, in a coordinated manner, in a coalition aspect with the Americans, with the other NATO allies, and bringing the moderate Sunni actors in the Gulf on board is the only way to deal with them. They've been a threat to regional stability for a number of years now. Since they came on the scene, they've fired multiple and very sophisticated ballistic and cruise missile attacks at Riyadh, at major oil facilities, at Abu Dhabi a couple of years ago. They fired over 400 missiles and drone strikes at Israel, primarily at the Tel Aviv area. And they've also severely interrupted international shipping going through the Red Sea. They've halted Suez Canal shipping by over 60% in the last year. So this is not just a threat to Israel. This is a threat to regional stability. This is a threat to international stability. And so it's a threat that must be dealt with in an international coalition manner. Mm-hmm.
And so what are the Houthis' capabilities today, and sort of what are the, the main targets that Israel and the coalition would need to strike in order to eliminate this threat?
Sure. So we're talking, of course, about a rebel group that has seized control and dominates much of Yemen's territory and is increasingly backed by Iran. Now we're talking about an organization that has somewhere around 20,000 fighters. This is an organization that began, of course, much smaller and weaker. And over the years, with Iranian backing, it has, and Russian arms also, it has achieved a not insignificant capability as far as its drone capabilities, its cruise missiles, its ballistic missiles, and its maritime ability to disrupt shipping lines or to even attack U.S. and other international naval vessels near the coast of Yemen. So, it's significant enough that it must be dealt with, and its capabilities keep growing from year to year, so long as they're allowed to grow.
Mm-hmm. And, we also heard the report today that Iraqi militias are ending their attacks against Israel. Is this another significant blow to Iran's war against Israel?
Absolutely. And what we see happening before our eyes is a significant blow. It's a falling apart of this vaunted axis of resistance that Iran has spent billions and billions of dollars building over the last decade around the region. So you see the Shia proxies of Iran in Iraq announce that they are going to abide by the ceasefire. Their official excuse is, of course, that they are in line with Hezbollah. And so because Hezbollah signed a ceasefire with Israel, they're going to be in line with it. But you also see another interesting development in Iraq, and that is the Sunni tribes, the Sunni Arab tribes have even come so far as to announce that they are interested in seeking peace with Israel, more or less joining the Abraham Accords. And these are both clear signs, if we know of any one certain thing in the Middle East, is that most of the actors will go with whoever side they deem is the strongest. And so when Iran was giving off the appearance that it was on the ascendant, that it was the stronger party, that it was taking the initiative, you had more and more of these actors on the fence siding with it. And now you see the exact opposite happening. And that is a direct credit to Israel standing strong in the face of first Hezbollah, essentially taking out Iran's biggest proxy in the region, weakening Iran's air defense systems and a lot of its ballistic systems, and helping together with U.S. and Western sanctions to bankrupt Iran. Iran is incredibly weak right now, and everyone around the region is smelling the blood in the water, so to speak.
So smelling the blood in the waters, the terror proxies are falling one by one, the Houthis clearly next in line. And what about the head of the snake? What about Iran?
This is indeed, the emperor has shown that he has no clothes. Iran has proven itself to be a paper tiger. And so this is the time to press. whether it's continued economic pressure, diplomatic pressure, and of course, military pressure. This is really the time to press on Iran and show the entire region just how much of a paper tiger this regime is.
All right, well, Dan Pfefferman, thank you so much for your analysis today.
Thanks for having me.